that way. That's why. And two men together cannot create life. Two women together cannot create life. That awesome and wonderful thing that results in the creation of life requires a male and a female. Not two men, not two women. To complain about that is to complain about the sun in the sky or the moon at night. That's just the way it is. Now he's going to say, well, but there's an overarching biblical teaching that it's not good for man to be alone. Yeah, that biblical teaching is found in the context of God specifically meeting the need for that man by creating what? Another man? No, by creating a woman. And that woman, who is different than him, is his helpmate. If God had created another man, then God might have just done as well to create a mirror. And as I said, one of the key issues is, what is the nature of love? The love that exists between a man and a woman is not a mirror image love. It is the love of one who is different than I am. Homosexuality does not offer that kind of relationship.
What sexual orientation is for straight people is their capacity for romantic love and self-giving. It's not just about sexual attraction and behavior. It's because we have a sexual orientation that we're able to fall in love with someone, to build a long-term, committed relationship with them, and to form a family. Family is not about sex. But for so many of us, it still depends upon having a companion, a spouse. And
it's not about sex, but it's not separated from it either. If you're going to talk about family, then you have to bring that in. It is essentially self-centered. It is essentially focused upon me and my desires and my wants. That's what homosexuality is. When you marry another who is different than you, not the same as you, different than you, that begins the process of quite literally ripping the selfishness right out of you. And the more you're willing to give of yourself to that other person, the more that's going to be your experience. And then when the little ones arrive, every little one comes into this world absolutely self-centered. Me, myself, and I. My needs, my wants. And talk about the most effective way of removing self-centeredness from an individual. And then they start going through that process where the design of the family is to remove self-centeredness from them and to make us look to others and to serve others. That's why I think the great tragedy of homosexuals adopting children is all about, because the only love that homosexual couple can demonstrate is mirror image love. There are no male and female. Oh, I know some people. Well, that we all can tell, and that those lesbians, which one's the man? Which I know, but that's not the same thing. When two women adopt a child, that child does not have a father. When two men adopt a child, that child does not have a mother. That's the reality of the situation.
And that's true for gay people as well as for straight people. That is what sexual orientation means for them, too. Gay people have the very same capacity for romantic love and self-giving that straight people do. The emotional bond that gay couples share, the quality of love, is identical to that of straight couples.
That's what I was mentioning before. That's where I have to say no. That is not true. You can talk all you wish, Matthew, about the depth of feeling that one has. But it is not, and since you call yourself a Christian, it is not Christian love. Because it's not defined within biblical parameters, within the parameters that the Creator himself designed. You may not like those parameters. You may have given yourself, you say you didn't choose this, but you have chosen to let it define who you are. And so when you say that it's identical, I say to you, you are wrong. It is not. It cannot be. It cannot be. It's impossible.
Gay people, like almost all of us, come from families, and they too long to build one of their own. But the consequence of the traditional interpretation of the Bible is that while straight people are told to avoid lust, casual relationships, and promiscuity, gay people are told to avoid romantic relationships entirely.
That is not the result of the traditional interpretation of the Bible. That is the result of the way that God created men and women. And even though he only dealt with it as it's found in Genesis, he didn't mention, and I could be wrong about this, I'll stand corrected if I am, but I don't think that he made mention of Jesus' reaffirmation of the specific teaching of Genesis in Matthew chapter 19. And that says a lot to me. It is unfair to say, well, this is due to the traditional interpretation of the Bible. No, it is due to the way that God created men and women. Would it be fair for those who promote intergenerational love to say that it's due to well, of course, the Bible doesn't even mention that. It's an abomination beyond even the imagination of the scriptural writers. But would it be fair for them to blame the Bible and the traditional interpretation of the Bible for their inability to publicly celebrate their intergenerational love? If you think it's too wild and crazy to imagine a push someday by intergenerational lovists for public recognition of their relationships in a marriage context, then you haven't been paying attention to what's going on in our world.